Hello, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning East Africa. My name is Zongo Ngoge, and today we are blessed to have two wonderful guests. We have the founder and the chief editor of Review Magazine, Madam Salma Sheikh. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And we also have a wonderful gentleman who is a businessman, an entrepreneur, maybe if you'd like to say it that way. His name is Fadal Osman.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Like, it's not every time we get to have two wonderful young guests at CBS Studios. And today we are blessed because I understand you're both doing business.
That's right.
For you, you have a magazine.
I have a magazine, yes.
Yes, it's a wonderful magazine. I've taken a look at it. Like, here we have a sample of it, the Review Magazine. And I would like to know, like, what inspired you and where did you get this idea to start a magazine here in Somaliland?
What inspired me actually was that I was into reading magazines when I was younger, many years ago. And specifically fashion and lifestyle magazines, not so much of the news magazines. When I was in university, because I was doing international politics, I had to read certain magazines or certain news magazines to get, get updated with current affairs and all that. So it was always something I liked, reading magazines. And when I came to Somaliland, I thought I couldn't find any. I used to ask my friends, family members, if they could buy some magazines from UK and bring it over here to me. So I thought, surely there's many other people who would love to read magazines, whether it is news magazine or lifestyle magazine or fashion magazine. And that's how the idea came up, and maybe the lack of magazines in Somaliland inspired me to start my own magazine.
That's a wonderful story. How about you? Like, how did you get to start your meat business and the car parking business?
That's right. In fact, I always liked to do business, but I wanted to do a different kind of business. So the capital city of Somaliland, Hargeisa, was growing. And the lifestyle was changing. Younger people were involved in different affairs, and diaspora were coming back. Many foreigners were coming back. So I thought, if I'm going to business, it has to be something new. So I should either be the first or to improve something that's already existing. That would make the town, the city, more capital, more civilized. So the first business I started was meat business. I opened the first butcher. So I call myself Hilibsan in Somali, the meat guy. So it was the first clean butcher in town. And we had a lot of customers coming, and it started very well. Now we have got the second branch, and we are aiming to open the third branch. And basically, the way we presented the meat was what was attracting our customers. Cleanliness, professional cutting, expertise, professional way of doing business with the hotels and the customers. And the second, so we were the first actually to do that in town. And the second business was a parking business. So Salma could be one of our customers by now.
But do you park your vehicle at this car parking area?
I will. I didn't know that there's a car park.
She had experience.
So do you park your car? Let's say you've gone for shopping in the city and you want to park somewhere.
That's funny. Because I have stopped coming into the center because I had some bad experiences with my car. I'm parking in front of certain stores that are a bit aggressive, and they would argue with you, even though your car is parked by the road, which you are a taxpayer, you pay the road tax, and you're allowed to park your car where it's possible on the road. Then there is a shop owner, who feels like, because it's right in front of me, even though it's by the road, you can't do that. So me and my sister had an experience of my car being actually like, hit with a stick that they broke.
Really?
They broke one of the mirrors once. And another time there was an argument with one of the soldiers, and it was not very nice because they arrested me.
Oh my God.
So after that I stopped. I was like, I don't want to have any problems.
Capital parking will be the damage, don't
So
worry.
hopefully now I find out that Khadar
right.
has a parking space in the center of the market. And hopefully next time I come down, drive down to Hargeisa.
You'll have a free parking next time you
Thank
come.
you very much.
Don't worry.
I will definitely try it.
And
It's a
maybe-
very good idea.
Maybe this is one of the stories you need to write in your magazine. Like,
Sure.
what kind of stories do you write? Is it entertainment? Is it just informing people?
And much of what we write is actually newsworthy stuff. So whatever the story is, it has to be something that is newsy, that's just like, informing people about something that they didn't know before, or maybe analyzing something that has happened, but people are like, taking into different interpretations, or like, there are rumors about, not sure about how things are. So we try to do fact finding and analyze certain current affairs that's happening. So we focus on things like economy, development, democracy, social issues. We write a lot about social issues as well. And we also write about women's issues, which our next edition, the 5th edition of the Sorority Magazine, will be mainly about women contributions. And because March is coming, so we want to just like, prepare for that and talk about more about women's contribution into this country, whether it is education, whether it is economy, politics, social issues, business, you name it. So that's our target this time.
What are some of the biggest stories you've ever written in your magazine?
We have actually, with this edition, which is the 4th one, we covered the main events that happened in Somaliland recently in October, and they were the meetings, not meetings, the conference held by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it was, they were talking about the last 27 years achievements of Somaliland and the challenges ahead. We covered that because there's more than 24 international delegations that came into the conference. It was one of the biggest conferences so far that Somaliland has held, and the outcome was very good. It continued for a few days in Grand Hadi Hotel. Also, we covered the launch of DB Wall officially, which was held in both Berbera and Hargeisa. So these two major events were very good, to cover. Actually, we had a few. We got more reporters to write about it. So we had to get more than usually we hire to do the job. So it was a major thing for us. It was a challenge in a way because even though we are in media, we are doing this in English. And mostly the Somaliland journalists write in Somali language. And so it was very difficult to find people who can actually write in English, who can report, who can prepare all these articles in English language. And then when we became short of the English writers, we had to employ the Somali writers and then translate their stories into English later. So it was challenging. It was good coverage as well, and it was well distributed.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How about you? Like, how many vehicles do you get to maybe have in your car parking space, maybe on a daily basis?
Oh, I think about 100 a day now. We are still new.
Yeah.
We are in our 5th month. But we're going to launch the second parking spot near the theater, Hargeisa Theater Center. So our aim is to basically develop the entire parking system of the town in collaboration with the city council. and that we have developed the proposal to change, to find the best spaces to create a parking space. If you go to the downtown of Hargeisa, it's too congested.
Yeah.
The road is narrow, very narrow. You can squeeze your car into the crowd. So we're trying to locate parking spaces that are open for now.
Yeah.
But later on, our objective is to expand to the downtown and see how we can create roadside parking. And it's very interesting. Like when you see a traffic officer standing in the road, doing most of his day trying to control the traffic and tell somebody to do not put the car here or there. He could be doing something more beneficial instead of dealing with that. So it's actually something new, but that's around those lines.
Okay. How about the meat business? Like, I understand that you're selling in kilograms.
That's right.
When you get to the market, you'll notice that the women, special meat is sold by the women.
That's right.
They'll tell you this leg
That's
for
right.
this price.
That's so true.
But they don't tell you how.
They don't sell in cages.
Yes,
That's right. They don't sell in cages. We were actually the first to do that. We tried to introduce that. It was hard at the beginning because people were used to buy in Somali, we call it waslat. It's like a cut.
Yeah.
These are the Somali cuts. So you'll have a whole chunk of meat, a whole leg, a whole loin. So when we were trying to convince people to buy it in kilos, they were not convinced initially because we told them, if you go downtown and you buy a leg by the name of leg and you weigh it, I'm sure it's gonna weigh less than what we are giving you. So they were convinced that what you pay for is what you get. Like you pay for a kilo, you get a kilo. So it was very interesting at the beginning, but now they are got used to it. They're adapting to it. They're adapting to it.
Okay. People here don't have a reading culture. How many copies have you managed to sell so far, and what kind of people are buying your magazine?
Well, this actually term of Somali people are oral society. They don't read. It's a very old fashioned. Since I was a little girl, I used to hear that we're oral society. We don't read, but we're in 2019 now. And most young people are educated, not necessarily in different languages, but at least the ones who are in this country, they all went to school, and they went to madrasa, which is Islamic schooling as well. So they can read both in Somali and in Arabic, and English language is written in Latin. So a lot of young people go to private schools as well to learn the English language. Another thing is a huge number of the Somaliland people are actually diaspora. They lived outside, outside the country. They lived in UK, in America. They lived in other European countries. They lived in Arab countries. They lived in other African countries. And for the past 10 years, they've been returning home, whether they're coming back for visits or they're coming back to live here. And there's many people who are here now and investing into the country. So our target is to actually educate Somaliland, educate other people about Somaliland. So we've written in English because there's a lot of media out there in Somaliland, all in Somali language. A lot of TVs are, most of the TVs are in Somali. Newspapers are in Somali language. Yes. And there is a lot of Somali people who actually don't read Somali. Young people who either born or grew up in other countries outside the country, they can't read in Somali. So our target was those who are not able to read in Somali but want to know about Somaliland. So that's who we are targeting actually. But now we got a lot of feedback from actual Somali people who don't read in English.
Yeah.
And they're like,
we need
we want one exactly. That's it.
I think
Somali.
that's something you will have to do eventually.
So
But the
we're
audience is
thinking,
the audience is actually correct.
So with the 50th magazine, with the 50th edition, we're actually thinking to include a number of stories in Somali language. So we came through that oral society thing long ago. We just read mostly in Somali, in Arabic, in English, in French. So everybody in Somaliland today is able to read in one of those languages that exist in the world.
I think, Salma, some of the other things that your magazine can promote is to tell the local stories, which are real stories, like young people doing business, and promote their ideas to the wider international community. Then they can either get investment or they can get attention for advice, or at least it gives them that what they are doing is actually known in the world. Yeah, so I think the audience would be more English, more Foya, more diaspora. But you still have to have some Somali components in there.
We'll definitely cover Khadar, Fadal and his businesses
Yes.
That's
in
right.
our sixth edition.
Yeah.
And speaking of
That's a
like
promise.
creating awareness, have
Yeah.
you ever advertised your business?
I only advertised it capital parking. I didn't advertise the meat business. I took advantage of the Somali tradition of word to mouth. Like the way word of mouth is the most important channel for propagating new things in the country. So a client would come, he would buy the meat, he would like it, and then he will post it on Facebook, or he would tell to another friend, especially women. So they would, when they like something, they would try and tell the others. And because we were taking advantage of the first mover advantage, which was we were the first. So everybody would tell, go have a look at Hilibsan. They have a meat. It's different. They have these things. They can deliver at home. So those things were the main thing. But for capital parking, we did a small TV commercial.
Okay.
And it actually, the WhatsApp and the Facebook and the social media were more efficient than the traditional media, like the TV. Like the television would cost a lot of money, but the social media, and they don't cost nothing. For example, you have got a few hundred people in your WhatsApp contact, then you send it, they share it. So it's basically multiplies. So I would advise every young person who's doing business to take advantage of the social media, because it can reach so many people within no time. And because social media is so close to the people, they have it in their phone, they have it in their tablets, it's actually part of their life. They would still be scrolling down the screens and watching something new that came up on social media. So that's one of the channels that would create awareness. Is there a soft copy of this online, or it's only published in hard copy?
No, we also have online subscription.
Online subscription.
On our website,
Yes.
So, saying something about Hilibsan, it's true that I actually found out from a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the one who does shopping at home.
I see.
Because I'm always leaving early in the morning to go to work. But sometimes I do. I mean, the family will be calling me up and say, we need you to buy this and that for us. So there was an occasion when mom called me and she was asking me if I could actually buy meat for the family.
Okay.
And my friend was with me at the time. She's like, she said, I buy my meat from Hilibsan.
Oh,
So,
look at that. You have
so she
potential
actually
customers
took
here.
me to Hilibsan, and I like the way you guys
Thank you.
because it was clean.
Thank you so much.
Everything is portioned, cut into proper sizes or the way you want it. And when I went to them, they asked me whether I want a whole animal,
Yeah, that's
or
right.
just half of it, or
Yeah.
how many kilos, things like that. So when I said I want a whole, they weigh the animal first. So, and then they cut it to how I wanted, and then they packaged it really nicely. So,
thank you.
For me, it was wonderful, but my mom was shocked when she was like, what happened to that?
You know, actually,
that's the theme actually we get. I mean, to be frank with you, we're not friends with the old mothers, older generation of women, because they get used to the big chunks of meat, and they don't like meat to be kept in the refrigeration. That's another issue.
They want it eaten instantly.
Instantly, like when you slaughter it, it still has to be very hot.
Okay.
And if that has been the culture for a period of time. So it wouldn't allow Salma to keep the meat in the refrigerator. That's right. That's the observation I had for most of the older generation of women, and they don't like these small cuts. They want to see a big chunk. It would be shame to put in front of the husband of the man of the house or the grandfather a small slice of meat.
Oh.
It would be shame. He either has to have a big chunk of the shoulder, or the leg, nicely cut, but it should be a good chunk, about this size.
Well, speaking also about people buying meat in the market, do you have hygiene standards? Because like in the market, you find the meat is just there, it's open, there are flies all over.
That's right. But it actually saddens me how the bad state that our meat is basically handled. I mean, that sector is lagging behind, and the government, the business people, the wealthy people, they have turned a blind eye to that. It's actually below like every standard in the world. We have opened small shops. We are opening the second one and the third one soon. And it's very costly, to be frank with you. But we have to hire at least 2-3 people.
How about you? Are you partnering with anyone, or do you get support from maybe the ministry, or are there others who are contributing to give you content for the magazine?
We're actually getting sponsors. We got some big sponsors who are actually sponsoring our magazine and the Somaliland Review as a whole. And without them, we couldn't have actually, been here today. It's been a year now. We're celebrating our anniversary, first year anniversary tonight.
Wow,
and we're having a little gathering in the office. Thank you. Yeah, so without them, we couldn't have been actually achieved what we have achieved. So we have Has Petroleum, Dahabshil Bank, Damal Hotel, Air Arabia, and the other companies who buy beaches, slots, like this company,
milk,
the milk, Holland Dairies. So the business community in Somaliland are the ones who found out about us, or the ones who we actually reached out. They're very supportive and they helping us. The government side of it, it's there are a few ministries who actually subscribe it to the magazine, and we deliver them copies each time the magazine comes out. As for the rest of the people, there is a lot of Somalilanders either inside Somaliland or outside the country who write articles to us. So they are what we call independent contributors.
Okay.
So they randomly send their articles about certain issues, and we have a big number of that, and we select, depending on what issues we're talking about in each edition from the list of the contributors and what they've sent. But we're also getting support from now another foreign NGO sponsored, I think, by the office of the British office in Hargeisa. And they're training us, building our capacity. They helping us, on the digital marketing, on improving the editorial stories and all these things. So far so good. But we're hoping things to go even improve. Yes.
Well, what would you tell young people like your advice to young people who would want to be like you? Maybe there's someone who is watching you right now and they say, I would like to be like him.
Well, go into business. I mean, don't be afraid. It's better to do your own business instead of working for somebody. I don't like to be employed by somebody. There are many opportunities out there in the market. Hargeisa alone.
Okay.
I have got ideas free of charge. I can still give you that.
Yeah.
But the majority of our population is young people. They say about 70% is young people below the age of 30. The opportunities that are existing in Hargeisa now are for the young people. Like there are so many services that you can introduce to serve the young community of the country. High-tech opportunities, services, products, things that the young women and young men need. You can leave the traditional business like food trade, all this stuff to the old generation who have got money.
Yeah.
You can do online shopping. You can sell stuff online.
Yeah.
You can create your own products. You can. I mean, there are so many things, very versatile things that you can do. So I would advise you. You don't need money to start business. I believe that. Somebody would argue that, but I still believe ideas follow. Money follows ideas. If you have ideas, then of course money will definitely follow.
Okay.
So that's my advice to them. Try something. It would be difficult at the beginning. It's just like training your muscle. First thing happens, it aches.
Yeah.
But as you go along,
you get used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it. It becomes very strong. Then you can. So there would be challenges. I mean, there's no easy ride.
Yeah.
So there would be challenge. Tried it, keep on it. I was doing the parking business, just the preparation for 3 years. For 3 years, it didn't take off.
But now you're where you are right now, and you're someone very successful. Yes.
I wouldn't call myself successful.
You are.
But the little thing I've contributed to my city is to give you the parking.
Wonderful.
And say somebody can park their car safely in the parking. So I would tell them, do business and be persistent. Then inshallah ta'ala you will be successful.
Well, that's great. And you advise a young woman out there?
Well, I think before the advice, first of all, we have to know, like, what are the issues out there. Khadar said that there is a lot of things, and it's true, there's a lot of opportunities. The only problem is that I have actually recognized that our young people are not well motivated. And I think it all starts at schools and universities. They need to actually prepare those young people to be independent, to be like entrepreneurs,
to create jobs,
to be encouraged to actually create jobs. And if they don't want to create something themselves, they should be like well motivated and keen and eager and hungry to actually work at some company of their choice or even with the government offices. But always learn and always improve and always be, an asset to who they're working for. Because you don't want to just drag your feet and come to somebody who's been working hard like Khadar, who started his businesses from very scratch. And who's looking for young, creative, eager and hungry people to actually work with him and take this business into next level. So it seems like the young people in Somaliland, most of them, they're waiting for something amazing to happen for them.
And that's the mistake. I mean, we need more job creators, job seekers. Somebody would sit there, graduated from university, and wait for a job. And they would tell them to create jobs instead of waiting for a job.
Yes. Well, you heard it from the two experts. Like they're saying, you can't just sit and expect a miracle to happen, and you can't wait for employment. You need to create employment yourself, and I believe that we have all the resources that we need. Like here in Somaliland, we are blessed with resources, and we can create employment as young people. Well, that's the end of our show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making time. It was wonderful having you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, CBA.
Thank you very much.